Hey everybody, good morning, good morning. Sorry, it took couple of minutes to get started up. This streaming software isn't the best in the world, but still working out the kinks. Maybe I'll get something better here to start with. But good morning everybody, welcome to our morning note. It is June 2nd, 9:05 a.m. Here GAR Capital on YouTube. Make sure to, excuse me, like and subscribe our videos. We really do appreciate your support as always. So let's go ahead and go over the markets. Futures are off the highs. Dow futures are up about 100 points. Nasdaq up about relatively up about 11%, kind of lagging behind. E-mini futures up about 7.5 handles at 30.61. We were at a high of 30.75. And VIX is now red, down 1.42%. E-mini Russell futures up about 0.5% is leading the way. We do have IWM calls, which we'll go over together. Light sweet crude up about 1%. Bitcoin breaking here, 10,265 on the future side. Gold is up slightly, 1752. Silver taking a breather here, down about 0.33%. Bonds prices down a little bit. It means yields are going up. And for my forex people, dollar yen is up 0.75% at 108.38 and a risk-off environment. Also, the dollar is down slightly again. Down 0.19%, and gas futures are up 2.22% at the moment. Lauren says, what's up, brother? Long time. What do you think about QQQ? Okay, I'm going to answer some questions here. We're going to go ahead and kind of talk about what's going on. So the president last night said that he will bring out the military, National Guard, I believe, to be activated to deal with the rioters and the protesters. Now, regardless of politics, again, we're going to leave politics on the side here. Again, this is more of a market show or market video and how it affects the market. Now, I've been saying this before for a while on Instagram, that basically everything you think you know or have learned in business school, finance class, or even in middle school regarding economics, you need to throw out the window. That is done with. All right now you need to think about is price action. And it's the facts. It's just where we are. Not to belittle or to bring down anything that we have learned in school, but it doesn't apply here anymore. Fundamentals are thrown out the window. It's really just price action and technicals now. So looking at E-mini futures, again, what I look at the most, which is the S&P, we bounced off the 50-day moving average overnight. We were red overnight, down 0.5%, and did a quick turnaround. Now we're in the green. We are off the highs, though, from about 6 in the morning. Again, keep in mind, guys, when it comes to futures, it is low volume. So again, don't expect a ton of volume. All the volume comes in the cash session, which is from 9:30 to 4. So 30.60 right now. Again, your level of support across the board, and you can kind of see it directly, is the 100-day moving average, is your blue line here. That's what you really want to look at here in E-mini futures. So if you're kind of looking at stocks long term or looking to play trading, it really is the 100-day moving average. That's what you want to look at for support. If you're playing futures, you want to play that support break. Keep your keep your stops kind of tight when it comes to futures, and kind of roll that way. And if you've been doing that for the past week or so, maybe even the last 2 weeks, other than the Friday before that, you've actually done pretty well. And if we've actually bounced even from those levels, so that's something to think about moving forward. Let's go over what's moving pre-market. Pre-market here, American Airlines up about 1.62%, Norwegian up about 3%, Carnival up 2%. Ford is up 1%. Again, all the names, the leisure names are up today. United Airlines as well. Invitation Homes down 2.7%. Delta Airlines up about 1.22%. MGM, again, casinos, leisure, cruises, airlines are up. Macy's is up. Southwest is up. Apple is down slightly, 0.37%. Zynga is up about 2%. Marathon Oil about 1.41%. And Moderna, which is a very volatile name due with the vaccine that they're working on, is down about another 3.5% here. AMD is flat. Again, AMD always has volume. So again, this is based on Market Watch on most active volume. So right now, the highest active volume on the board is American Airlines and Norwegian. Let's go ahead and take a look at IWM, which was something that we've watched. That's something that we're talking about. It was a freebie for the Twitter member or Twitter followers of ours and Instagram followers. Again, we played here the Fibonacci level. You can take a look at the daily, and you can see that we did break the fib. Here, the 61.8 fib. We played that. This is the daily fib from top to bottom. So what we did is play the Fibonacci break. We did get a little bit of a fall back from there, but again, the small caps, which is the Russell 2000, has been relatively strong against the S&P and Nasdaq recently. You can see this gap up from about a week ago and has been staying to that level. We had high of 145.95 with this break of around 142, which we tapped, which we came close to, and we should get today. We were actually on the way, but still that 100-day moving average, kind of like the S&P, is holding here. So again, we still like the trade. We're still holding on to IWM calls. We have the 145 calls on IWM. We should retest those highs with the break again of 142, 141.96 on IWM. Also, Microsoft was upgraded today. Looks like talks of about a $2 trillion valuation. I'm going to go ahead and maximize the sell. I do like this stock. I do own it. It's one of my top 5 holdings in my portfolio. But here, you're not really getting much love here. You're just getting a little bit of a gap up, but again, nothing here to get crazy about. Still above the 100 and 200, which is nice. But again, you need a little more love, a little more juice. I'd say above the highs of 187.69, 187.60. Then you can start making a move for for some calls. But if you're looking to actually buy the stock, I would like a level of 182 below the 100-day. Or if you really want to wait for a little more of a discount, maybe wait for 177, and that should be strong because that'd be your support there. So you could probably save some money by waiting for 177, which could happen. Again, anything could happen. It doesn't mean that Microsoft isn't a great company. Again, you're just getting a better deal on it. So just like anything else, you want to get a good price, right? Let's go ahead and take a look here at some questions. Let's answer some questions here. QQQ, Lawrence was asking. So Nasdaq. Nasdaq is lagging behind in the index peers, which is Dow, S&P, and IWM, which would be Russell. But again, you can see just breakout here. It looks very, very nice. Above 234, which is a level I've been watching. If we can retake 236, which is the recent high, then I can start taking a look at some calls. But I am bullish on Nasdaq. Obviously, I'm heavy tech in my portfolio, so there's no reason to change that now. Let's go ahead and place an alert together around 236. If we break that, the calls will definitely be here to talk about. Let's see how we do at the cash open and see if we break that in a couple of minutes. Paul asks, good morning. Any thoughts about a second wave of infection caused by mass gatherings? Sure, there could be a second wave of infection. Sure, social distancing is kind of thrown out the window here. But the main thing we got to look at here, guys, it is price action. Could we get a little bit of a fall? Sure. You got to understand, I think Jim Cramer said it best last night, the market really doesn't have a conscience. It's not thinking about civil unrest. It's not thinking about protesting. It's just basically looking forward to the economy reopening up. So in my mind, I would go by the economy reopening up first and seeing really the wave of infections affecting people. If people are saying, you know, they're willing to go shop, they're willing to go to the mall, they're willing to go travel to buy things, then the second wave of infections from an economic standpoint would really be mute, in my opinion. So again, the market is really pricing in a growth spurt, or in a sense, almost a unchaining, if you will, of holding back the consumer to want to go ahead and consume. So I'm going to go ahead and bet on the consumer here. Should we get more of a second wave, it just gives me more of an opportunity to buy more at the dip. So again, if you're looking at somebody that wants to buy some shares at a really good price or a lower price, you know, for example, like a Lululemon, which was just downgraded by Wells Fargo, and I have that stock. I'm up 80% on that name personally with our investment group. Again, that's something that you could look into if you want to buy a little more Amazon, you want to buy a little more whatever. The second wave of infections could be a catalyst to kind of get you in the game at a better price. So I don't hope that happens, obviously, but I think that the United States consumer will probably look past that, in my opinion. News about Apple cutting prices on iPhone China is not good news. Why is it not up in the stock price? There was also some other talk that their 5G wire handset will be kind of not, they won't have as much supply. So that's the other news on Apple. Now keep in mind, Apple has been on a tear, but we are kind of sitting sideways here for the past 2 weeks. 325.95, 326 is your level to break on Apple. If you're looking for the all-time high, it's 327.85. It's going to take a little bit to get there, but again, 316.01, that'd be a good level to maybe see for the 200-day to bounce. I think that's your support here on Apple, and it looks to be that trend to the upside. I actually want to add to my Apple position. My target is $300 a share, but if we can get to around 305, I think I can eat the $5 per share and go ahead and buy some. But Apple is a winner. It's one of my bigger positions, top 5. So again, I think the 200-day moving average is something to look at. If you break to 316 or hit 316, that could be a place to take a look at to maybe play a bounce there. But I think Apple moving forward, again, you understand it's low beta, moves with the market. So it is relatively 40 cents down pre-market, but again, it's behind the S&P here. So I still like it bullish long term. Obviously, we know the drill with Apple. I think it's one of everyone's holdings, but just keep in mind that Apple does move, but the 200-day is your support. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Save stocks long term. Let's look at Save. Spirit Airlines. If it comes to airlines, the only really airline that I own is Delta. The only other one I've been looking at is Southwest because it's domestic. Spirit Airlines, in my opinion, I don't have the financials in front of me. It'll take a little bit of time. I'm not seeing any kind of movement to want to get into this long term, this name. I'd rather you be an American or Delta. Delta has better books, better fundamentals. I know I just said fundamentals really don't matter, but I guess in a sense of I'm looking at more of the airlines that could absorb another one. And I don't think Spirit is one that could be absorbed. I don't foresee that happening. But American Airlines and the Delta, those are a little more behemoths. They're bigger. Spirit tends to be more of a niche, low-cost airline. To me, they seem to be ripe for an absorption or to be acquired. And that might be good if you're a Spirit shareholder, sure, depending if you get a premium the price. Again, we're talking very speculative here, but I'd rather not be in safe here. Any REITs that you like for dividends mainly? The only REIT that I own, Paul, is Fundrise, and that's fundrise.com. That's commercial real estate, and I think some residential with apartments and such. So that's the only one that I invest into, and I put in money every month in Fundrise. They suspended redemptions and withdrawals for now due to the COVID, but again, it doesn't matter because I'm still just an investor. I'm not looking to touch that money. But again, Fundrise is the one I like. That's the only one that I put my money in. I wouldn't recommend anything else. I've researched some other ones. I prefer Fundrise. You're welcome. You're welcome, Justin. So we got the market open about a couple of minutes, about 10 minutes here. Take a look at Tesla. I know everyone's been talking about it. I had the 900 calls personally. I put it on Twitter and I filled yesterday, but they were $13 per. And again, a little expensive to put as a signal, but I wanted to tell everyone on Twitter. And I made 40% on it. I'm happy I moved on. But again, it kept continuing to the upside. Tesla could take a breather today, guys. Just keep in mind, the only silver lining here is that Elon Musk is going to get off Twitter for a little bit, which is nice. But I hope that Tesla gets a continuation of the upside. Remember, you want to keep an eye. 900 is a big level, guys. If we break 900 during the cash session, I really do believe that 1,000 is in the making. If you want to get into 1,000, be speculative. Maybe try next week's 1,000 calls. That could be a play if you break 900. That's something that I would watch, something I would do. You and Zanga, let's see here. I think it's Zanga. For one, I play Zanga poker, which I enjoy. Looking at the stock myself here, the price action, it is breaking on the daily, which is very nice. Let's take a look at the options when we open up. But I think that once that break to the upside in pre-market, again, I've seen these kind of moves pre-market where they get sold off at the open. So be very careful when you get into Zynga. I haven't looked at their fundamentals. I'm not a shareholder. But again, Zynga, stay-at-home stock. You're on your phone. You're playing games. You figure like a Zoom or a Netflix. Nothing to do with consuming or going on or anything. Activision, same thing. Stay-at-home stock. Zynga could be a winner here. Especially if we get a second wave of infections. People stay home. People are going to play more games, right? But funny, you've seen the last 2 weeks pretty much trading water, then we get an explosion to the upside. So again, that's basically earnings. But again, let's see if we get a continuation still. But I wouldn't be buying here, but it could be a play, maybe a play for some speculative calls. Let's see how we do with price action. If anything, I'll go ahead and place alert above $10 and see if we get a continuation. If you do get $10, I'm pretty sure $10.50 would probably be the calls that get the most volume there. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is Carlos, CEO of GAR Capital, for our morning note. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us on Instagram. Make sure to like, subscribe, or leave us a comment here on the YouTube channel. And thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Stay safe, everyone. If you're in a major city, please stay safe, everyone. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow for a morning note, 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Catch you guys soon.